Hey everyone, happy Saturday, good morning. Give me a second to make an announcement on Discord about the live stream, and we'll get going on more texture stuff. Just gotta figure out how to get a link to this.
At Fred Meyer.
Sorry. Open the new tab in YouTube. There we go. Okay. There we go. Nice. So last time we worked on this, we were just blocking in everything on this texture. This first texture that we have here. Let me go back to my I need to switch up this is not the lighting that I want. There we go. So what I plan on doing today is getting this to a more refined state. Just kind of working on the more of the details, and hopefully doing an export, and we can try and pop it into Blender and just kind of play around with the pose model with the new textures on it. Harley, hi, how's it going? Small John, lipstick would be chef's kiss for this. George or Jorge, Jorge, I believe Jorge. Hi. Where can I learn more about the game and donate? I think you're looking at checking out the Discord, probably. There should be links in the live stream, like down below. You can take a look there and see if you have any. You find the answers to your questions, or while you're here, you can just ask me about anything, and I'd be happy to answer anything I can. Give me 1 second. I gotta open up my reference. There is, that's not what I wanted. I want to put this in PureRef. Go. I really need to find a better way to lay out all my windows while I'm streaming, because this can get kind of hectic. Okay. Thank you, Miss Kezark. Thank you for getting that link out there. Kivarstra, hi, how's it going? Tiffany, hi. Now RFG, love the coloration on the neck. I feel like most names never do colorful side of reptiles. Yeah, well, I don't know about... I won't speak to most games, but I enjoy exploring lots of different colors with reptiles. I think it's fun. Coloration. So we have that. I'm just trying to remember where I left off. Or hey, in the Discord, you should be able to find the roster for the list of dinosaurs that we have. There should be some ceratopsians in there. I'm pretty sure. All right, let's see where I am here. What do I want to work on? I actually need Photoshop, I think. Yeah, I need to open Photoshop because I need my layers. That way I know what is what, because some of this is blending together, and that's... Or actually, I could probably just take some of this off. Yeah. I still need Photoshop anyway, though. Over the week, I seriously considered stopping my Photoshop subscription stuff for Adobe. So, I mean, I need an Adobe thing to use Substance Painter, which is a bummer. But I mean, I'd rather use Substance Painter than Photoshop. But here we are. Where the heck is it? That is not the PSD that I want. I want this one, I guess. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Photoshop always yells at me at the beginning of its startup because some of my plugins aren't working as they're supposed to, or they need updates or something. Okay, I'm gonna work on these spots for a bit. I see some changes that I need to do to the face. That's the problem here, is that I have to look at... Hold on, I'm having logistical issues here. I'm gonna pop out chat and put you guys over here. That way I can have Photoshop open and still look at chat. Okay, there we go. Kirashtra, I'm doing a new skin. I'm taking an acro and mixing Siberian tiger with golden tiger coloration. That sounds really cool. Okay. Let's get into. Need to use this one. This is my mask. Okay. So what I'm noticing on my concept versus the texture that I'm working on right now is that these little areas are more. What I'm actually gonna do, I think it might be easier, is I'm just gonna fill this whole area with this dark color, and then I'm gonna use some masking to get some of the breakups in the scales. So you'll see in a second how I'm gonna do this. In my concept, the lines in between the scales here, well, they're actually not scale. I guess they're more like the cracks in the face. The lines in between are lighter colored. They're not this dark color that I have here. So let me try something out here. Fill. How do I want to do this? Curvature. I want to I may have to do this on a separate mask because yeah, I'm probably gonna have to do this on a separate mask because it's gonna screw up some of my stuff that I had going on below. So let's try that. Go into that folder. Does it have a shorter snout? No. But just that's the way it's been. You might be thinking it might be because of the perspective, because the perspective is off, but the snout hasn't changed scale. It's the same. Let me get this color. Add a so I want this to be white. head looks like it was bonked by a frying pan. I mean, isn't that the way all... I think all kind of crocodilians look a little bit that way. Maybe alligators. But I really like the way his head looks. I think Purussaurus might be, not just because I'm working on him, but because I just think overall the skull looks really badass. It just looks really, really bulky, really like, just very strongly built. I like the proportions a lot. What am I doing here? I need to invert this. Can I invert? I try. What? I don't know exactly what abilities it's going to have in game. That would be probably so Furious has started doing his streams during the week. So I don't know, maybe he'll be going over like what his abilities are and like when he's starting to implement all that stuff. You'll be able to see what that is. But as of right now, I really don't know what abilities he's going to have. So I'll be surprised about it, just like you guys will. So for those of you who are like wondering what the heck I'm doing right now, because I'm changing all these colors and he's looking like a clown. What I'm doing is I'm constructing masks under here. So this is my mask layer. And what I like to do when I'm using Substance Painter is I like to create sort of like utility masks. They're kind of just masks that I know that I'll reuse over and over again in the course of the texturing. So these masks are down here because I can refer back to them higher in the layer stack without technically adding another layer. So it kind of makes it a little bit more economical. It makes it so I don't have to repeatedly like make the same mask over and over and over and over again. So that's what I'm doing. And I usually I like to use like very garish colors because it's easy to see. I don't really have to I don't really have to guess. A lot of the masks that are in that you can make in here can be very subtle looking. And what I want to do is make it as easy as possible for me to see what you know, what's going on. So that's why you're seeing me go through this. It's kind of a little bit of setup, right? It's not a direct sort of workflow, but it does help me in the end because I can get some cool effects. So what I'm doing now is I'm trying to isolate these cracks in the face. Like, see all this black? I'm trying to isolate those cracks because I want to use them up above in the layer stack. So I'm taking this down here. This is going to be curvature. High contrast curvature. I'm going to add, these are my anchor points. So these anchor points are what allow me to refer to the masks that I'm making below. Curvature, high contrast. So now, remember I was working on this green mask here, but I couldn't isolate the cracks that I wanted. So I made that anchor point, and now I can come back and do this. It's a subtle change, but it's more, what I wanted is more solid lines in between here, and then I'm going to blur them. Blur. And then I am going to, I wonder if I can, I'm going to actually add the mask back on top of itself. Like that. So I'm getting some very contrasty. I kind of wish that I didn't have these like white spots in the middle of all that, but well, actually, let's see. I'm gonna add an anchor point here too. This is gonna be called face cracks. Here. I like using anchor points a lot. Let's see. You can it gets kind of complicated because you can refer to the same mask multiple times within the same like little layer stack. So sometimes I can get a little bit too crazy with it, but majority of the time it works out well. So I have that. So now that I have the face mask, I can come back to the skin coloration that I was working on. Come back here, and then we will add one of these masks back in here so I can isolate this. Fill, we want the... Do we want this? No, that's not the right one. Yeah, you have to be very, you have to make sure you're labeling things correctly. Yeah, that's what I want. Or else if you don't label it properly, then your anchor points are pretty much useless to you. is the mask that I need. But this needs to be inverted, right? Does it need to be inverted? What is going on? Will the males have male markings? I'm assuming yes, they will. It's the males will have the orange sort of patch on the bottom of their throat here. The females will be simpler. Yeah, it's hard to say what kind of, because as far as like the mutations and stuff go, I've only recently heard about that because of the most recent live stream. Or not the most recent live stream, the most recent dev vlog. So that's the first time I've heard of the mutations. So I have no idea what kind of mutations could happen on Puru. I'm having some issue with this because my brain is not fully awake right now, and I'm trying to process these stacks of layers. What do I want to do here? So I do want all of these little cracks. When I put this on the mask and invert it, then okay, I think I know what I need to do. This. I need to add an invert. I need to invert it earlier. So that way I can isolate those. Invert. There we go. Yeah. And this needs to be inverted. So that way. Multiply. There we go. That's what I wanted. Maybe a bit more of a blur. Okay. I don't know. Maybe I'll do it without a blur. There we go. So then we go back to the skin. And then this. That's. Add a fill. And then we want the face mask. These cracks. Is that one? That kind of works, but it's a little too strong. Oh. God dang. I think it's better. I'm better off maybe not even trying to get so fancy with it. I didn't want to do this by hand. I thought I could like. I think my original idea, because I was trying to avoid like having to come in here and manually go over all of these little cracks, but that might be the play here, because I don't know, today is just not, my brain is not functioning on all cylinders, I think. Because I can't figure out what the heck I'm doing with that with that layer mask, so I'm just gonna leave it. We'll come back. I'll try and figure it out later, but for now I'm just gonna paint out these cracks. It's probably faster to do it that way rather than fiddle around with masking. That's the way it goes sometimes. It's like I have an idea for, ooh, I can use this clever trick to, you know, save myself some time on this area, and then it ends up not doing that at all. I end up spending more time on the trying to be fancy than just getting it done, you know. So we'll do this. We'll do this manually. Looks like we have some troubleshooting going on in the chat. Hope everything's okay. I'm kind of excited. Later on today, my wife and I are going to go check out a fossil gem and mineral show that's nearby us. So I'm excited to see what's there. I haven't really gone to many. If it's cool and if it looks interesting, I may actually try to get a table there next year and see if I can maybe sell some models, some 3D printed stuff, some prints maybe. See how it goes. I haven't done much of that, at least not recently. COVID kind of screwed that up for me. Well, like COVID hit, nobody could go anywhere, and I just kind of forgot about wanting to do like conventions and stuff. So I kind of stopped any stopped majority of that. I'm wondering why. I can kind of see a little bit better with that off. Oh, hold on. I'm going back to this again. I didn't learn my lesson. I just add. Oh. I had hope for a second, and then it all went away. Jorge, I am working on just getting these textures refined. You can see. So this is my concept that I did in Photoshop. What I'm trying to get is this. See this like spotty sort of color, like pattern on the face? The spots closer to the snout here actually follow the cracks in the snout. So I'm trying to paint in those cracks. I was trying to get fancy and like use my masking techniques to get the cracks to fill out, you know, to get isolated for me, but that didn't work out. So I'm doing it by hand. I actually don't know. I didn't do this in the concept, so we'll see what this does here. It should be pretty solid. I really don't like that the nostrils are pink. And the eye shouldn't be that color. I'm gonna do a little bit of a cheat here because I want depth to the texture. Just in Substance Painter, they'll probably add it. It'll be better looking in Blender and in the engine. But for right now, because of the way, like, this doesn't have any roughness, like a proper roughness pass on it, because the roughness is separate from the it's separate from the color pass. So I want to add a little bit of depth to this, just for my own sake. Just stuff that's in the cracks and things like that, so I can kind of see things better. Because without that, like, little bit of differentiation on the surface, it's kind of hard to tell what's going on. Okay. I actually wish I could keep this cavity detection on the texture, because I think it looks really cool. But I don't think that I will be able to do that with the way that our stuff is set up. Tiffany, art of the monkey stealing Spinosaurus. I don't know really. Are you talking about the splash art that we were working on Wednesday? I don't remember any monkeys in there. I haven't had a chance to work on that since then, so it's the same. It looks the same. Probably trying to find time to work on it more soon, but yeah, it's been a crazy week. Been super busy. But I'd rather be busy than not busy at all. So we also got to figure out what we're going to do with the eye on this one. Eye color and just the texture for the eye in general. Samuel, thank you. I mean, there's so much more stuff that I wish I knew about. Like, I wish I knew how to animate. I know, like, really basic stuff, but there's no way I could compete with anyone on animation, really. It's just very rudimentary stuff that I know, but I want to learn more, and then maybe a bit of coding. Wish I knew how to, at least, like, maybe not to actually code myself like entirely, but at least like fundamentally some coding. That way I could like try to understand how things are working and plan for stuff. Those two areas are some areas that I wish I knew more about, or I hope to learn more about in the near future. Majority of my work has been more focused on like just making the art itself. Compositing is another area that I would like to learn about. I think that stuff is really cool. I don't know, maybe VFX, like VFX would be handy, but I don't know if would be very good at that. redesigned a kaiju. Sure, let's check it out. Oh, that's pretty cool. Very Spino inspired. Yeah, nice. I like the fire effects a lot. I think I have some designs of kaiju as well that I've never shown to anybody. They're kind of like old school style. Like, I was inspired by more of the Showa era Godzilla kaiju. So it definitely looks like a guy in a dinosaur suit, but I kind of like that. Definitely wanted that vibe. I was kind of worried. This was like years and years ago. It's a very old concept. I was kind of worried that people wouldn't get it. You know, like I would post it, and people would be like, you know, you just say it looks stupid because it looks like a dude in a suit, but it's on purpose. I should probably just post it anyway. I think the people who would get it are definitely the people who I'd want to interact with anyway. If you know, you know, type of thing. Sorry, reading a Discord message from one of the other devs. Yeah, kaiju are really fun to design. There hasn't been like a ton of modern kaiju stuff that I mean, of course, Godzilla. Like I loved -1. Shin Godzilla was cool. I'm honestly not so big on the MonsterVerse, like the legendary version of Godzilla. I like his design. It's kind of grown on me, but as far as like what they're doing with the whole thing, I'm not totally sold on it still. I really liked Pacific Rim. That was really good. I was kind of very bummed about the sequel. But the first one itself was really, really awesome. I mean, I'm trying to think of what others. I feel like a kaiju design is very. I was talking to a friend about this a while ago. I think a kaiju design is like deceptively hard to get right, because I think there's like this sort of quality about them that I think kind of stems from the fact that there were originally like people in suits, right? So they have this like humanoid. They had to have this kind of humanoid quality because of the like real limitations of what the human body could fit into and stuff. So a lot of the times when people just like take like real animal proportions and they just like scale them up to huge size, sometimes it can look off, I think. Like for me, like I like Cloverfield as an idea, but I don't think that the Cloverfield monster looks like a kaiju necessarily. Like the proportions are like he's got these very spindly legs that I don't feel would like support him. It feels like he's a smaller monster design that's just been scaled up to the size of a building rather than a monster that is meant to be that size, if that makes sense. I don't know. It's kind of a weird subjective thing, I suppose. Hard to articulate as well. Because in other cases, like it does work. Like Kumonga from Godzilla is basically just a big tarantula, right? So in that case, it kind of works. There's also those big mantis kaiju that are in Godzilla. There's Ibira, who's like a giant lobster. So in those cases, it kind of works, but maybe it's because they're arthropods. That's a little bit more forgiving. It doesn't trigger me as much. I wish there were a really cool kaiju game though. I think it would be pretty fun. I've seen a couple like indie things going on. There was a game where you were surviving in a city, kind of like a post-apocalyptic city, and you had to hide from a kaiju. And there was another game that I saw that was kind of like a mix of Lethal Company. It was Lethal Company, but you had to take photos of like anomalies, I guess. And one of them was a big kaiju in a city that you had to like go and photograph. That was a cool idea. I don't know. I wish there were more games that played around with this scale of like a monster like that in a city and did something interesting with the gameplay. There was, EDF. I don't know if you guys have played EDF. That's a fun game. And there's many games, EDF games. They're pretty. They definitely lean into that like 1950s, 60s sort of sci-fi. Like there's a lot of humor in there. There's very like cheesy lines, sci-fi lines that they have going, like pseudo scientific stuff that they'll say. But there's some fun stuff in there. I would consider that like a kaiju game, but there are literal kaiju. But most of the time you're fighting like big like giant ants, giant spiders, flying saucers, like crazy stuff. It's pretty fun. I'm not quite sure it scratched the exact itch that I wanted to play, you know, but it was pretty funny and really cool. But yeah, if you could like, if there was something a little bit more grounded, where you had to like maybe escape a city with a kaiju in it, or you had to pursue a kaiju, or like defend the city from a kaiju. Maybe you could be a kaiju. Kind of hard. I feel like that's way harder to do though, because I think a game like that could maybe be too repetitive, because it would basically just boil down to go destroy this city and then do it again and again. So I don't know. Is it possible to do a retopo in ZBrush instead of Maya or Blender? Yeah, absolutely. You can definitely do a retopo in Blender. I mean, ZBrush, sorry. It's a little strange, I'm not gonna lie, but once you get used to it, you can totally retopologize in ZBrush. You have to be very careful though, because it's very easy to connect to vertices that you don't really want to connect like entirely across the model, because the way you set it up, you can see through everything basically. Excuse me. And the thing about it too is like you're literally doing every point, right? You're making every polygon by hand. There's no extrude and like you can extrude a whole edge or something like that across the form. There's nothing like that. Like it's very like manual. So that's like the downside to it, but I've done a whole model in ZBrush before, retopologized the model in ZBrush before, so it's totally possible. And that was before they did all this stuff with ZModeler. So ZModeler can do some like interesting stuff. You can extrude edges. I think you can snap to the surface below, so you should be able to like kind of treat that as like something that Blender would be able to do, or maybe even like Topo Gun or something like that, where you can extrude a whole edge that you select. You can fill polygons with that, add edge loops, multiple edge loops. So you could probably use a combination of like the hand drawn sort of polygons with ZModeler to get some quicker progress. Like you could make a big face of like one big giant polygon on the side of a model, like like this, and then you could with the manual retopology tools, and then with Z modeler you could add in all of your cuts and stuff. Okay, I'm actually pretty grateful that I was able to, because I started learning about topology and like the importance of topology and how to retopologize stuff without any like special tools. Like I didn't have TopoGun, I didn't have Blender. I just had to use ZBrush because it's the only program that I had at the time. And I think the manual like creation of every single poly really helped me understand like topology just better, faster. I think if I had like all the special tools at first, I think, I don't know. I think I wouldn't have gotten the grasp. I would have like relied on the tools as a crutch much more, maybe. But I kind of, I don't know. The way I learn and the way I think about learning stuff is different from a lot of other people, I think. I tend to like to learn stuff like the hard way first, like quote unquote the hard way, before I try to learn any like shortcuts or like any like any new techniques or anything like that. Just because I feel like I get a better, more detailed understanding of the process. Like once I'm comfortable with the process and I know how to do things, then I'm totally fine. Like, okay, well, how can I shorten the process a little bit? Like, how can I speed this along? And then I'll start looking for shortcuts and stuff like that. Specialized tools to help me out. But there's nothing wrong with just starting out with TopoGun or there's like a few different names for, there's a few different tools that you can use in ZBrush for retopology. RetopOflow, I think, is the more popular one. Samuel arm anatomy. Let's check it out. I think the majority of your arm anatomy is looking pretty good. I think that the deltoid is a little bit like enlarged or kind of, let me see. How can I show you? I gotta get my brushes. I gotta get, oh no. Photoshop is not gonna like me switching windows like this. There we go. So quick arm anatomy tutorial. If I had a brush that would work properly. I have so many brushes in here. I need to clear out some of these. So your arm's more like kind of like a spino arm. So if you're thinking about the scapula and the coracoid where the arm is, then you have the arm and the fingers. These are my stick bones. The deltoid is going to be a muscle that's right here, and it's pretty triangular, I guess. I would call it triangular. And it's going to attach either on the... You're going to have to look at this at some reference for Spinosaurus, probably, or some other theropods. But there should be a process on the humerus that you can see like this. There should be like a little nodule that like pops out, like a bump on there. That's where the deltoid would attach. So you're going to get this sort of shape for the deltoid. Then you have the biceps. There's actually a couple muscle, biceps brachii and biceps. Crap. Sorry, I'm forgetting my muscle names. But there's another biceps muscle here underneath. Then you have your tricep muscle. There's a crap, I'm just totally forgetting my muscle names. But anyway, there's these flexor muscles here. Or these are extensors. I'm grouping them. There's a lot of them right here. So these are extensors. These are flexors. Right. Then you'd have like a sheath of fascia or tendon right here, and then it's going to go into all of your little tiny muscles for your hand. But basically, this is the shape that you want for your theropod arm, like this. Like when you go to like do your line art or like shade, you would have this sort of form here, because I think on your dino it's very like bulging out like this. It's not. You can make it more muscular if you want to, but the shape is more like well, how would I describe it? I would just tone down the shape a little bit because it's very rounded, like kind of like stylized on yours. And then you're gonna have like trapezius, teres minor and major, like all that stuff going on here. So this is generally the shape that you're gonna look at. Take a look at other reptiles too. Like you should be able to find some like what are they called? Dissections of like Komodo dragons, crocodiles, that you can see the arm anatomy on. But that would be my my 2 cents on what your anatomy is doing on where the heck? Now I totally lost my Photoshop. It like disappeared into nothingness. What the heck happened? I'm gonna close the window. Photoshop doesn't like it doesn't like changing windows, like changing monitors on my setup. It like freaks out. So see, like now it's like, yeah, I legitimately don't know where it is. It's like in the, oh, it's way over here. It's like very tiny and on my third monitor. That's crazy. Okay. I'm going to open up my concept again. But I hope that helped, Samuel. Let's keep on going with this. Yeah, I mean, you can make it as strong and buff as you want, I suppose, but what I'm talking about is more like just the fundamentals of like keeping the anatomy in mind, like where the muscles attach. You can increase the size if you want to. It's just making it believable at the same time, you know? Extinction 42. Hi, how's it going? Chance of Purussaurus. I'm not sure. As I said, I'd have to look at the roster again. I don't think he's in there. I love Purussaurus too. He's a really cool one. Oh, look, I'm wrong. Don't trust me. Purussaurus is in Echoes of Extinction. It is. So that's pretty exciting. Recently added. Okay. Maybe I'm just out of date. I get there's so many questions about the roster. I should just like have that up constantly on my screen when I'm streaming, so I can answer any questions about that, because there's so many names. Samuel. Will Irritator have a pelican throat? I mean, if I'm the one doing the design and model, I think that's a feature that I would like to incorporate, because I think it's really cool. As far as gameplay goes, I don't know if that's something they've planned for. So I'm liking the color distribution here. I think it feels better than it was before. It's taken much longer than I anticipated it was going to take. What's your favorite dragon design from House of the Dragon? You know, so that's the Game of Thrones show, right? Like the spin-off show. I'll be honest, I haven't watched Game of Thrones at all. And I haven't watched any of the spin-off stuff. I'm not really familiar with the dragons there either. I think they all look pretty cool. I mean, they're definitely some decently designed dragons. I don't know, but it's very hard. Like I'm a Monster Hunter, big Monster Hunter fan, and I think it's very hard to top some of the dragons in Monster Hunter. Like I mean, I think they're some of the best designed dragons probably in video games and even some movies. It's hard to come up with a design that... I mean, Smog was really good. I like Smog from The Hobbit. But like, yeah, like Elatrion is like one of my favorite dragon designs. That guy looks so sick. His horns, like the scale flow on him. His colors. Fatalis is sick. Yeah. I would say it's hard to compete with those for me. Did I... Okay, so once it gets past the neck, it kind of stops corresponding to the osteoderms. So I won't worry about that too much. Okay, I have more spots to take care of. Kind of wanted to get a test texture out here though. And I need to set up the RGB stuff too. Furious, since you're in the chat, do we have like a cavity thing going on on the skins in game? Like this sort of thing where it like can add like a little bit of depth to the skin, like where you can see the shadows of the cracks and stuff, or are we just kind of relying on the lighting to do that? Oh, it's in the RAO. Okay, cool. Cool. Yeah, I like how it looks, but if it's in the RAO, then I won't. I was just wondering, you know. Wait, are you adding cavities and cracks to your dinosaurs? I don't know about this, guys. I'm not sure I know what you mean, Vola. I mean, there's already cavities and cracks on the dinosaur. Like all of these skin details are all considered cavities and cracks. Anything that goes into the skin, like this crease here is a cavity. In terms of like, if you're from like a textural standpoint. That's what we're talking about. Oh, sorry. I mean, it's very hard for me to tell when somebody's like has a serious question and when they're joking. Just in text, you know. I thought it was a real concern, which kind of makes it even more funny. Vola, I don't think so. I think it's only the Eocarcharia and the Oranosaurus that are planned for that. So I'm still working out all this texture stuff, and then there's still all the animation that needs to be done for the Puru. So I don't know if that would be a realistic, you know, for us to get done. Sky, could you look around of what's done so far, like a orbit, like a rotation of everything? Yeah, I can show you. I mean, this is I was focused mainly on the head today, and I'm like slowly moving my way down the body with all these spots. But that's how he looks so far. I think he's decent right now. Like, I'll probably shoot out a test texture. We should probably do that soon. Just to try and get it into Blender and see how it looks in some light on the model. Yeah, that's how he's looking. I need to do some asymmetry stuff because like I don't want the pattern to be perfectly mirrored across the center line, so we got to do that still too. It's not exactly mirrored, but I think the differences between the two sides is too subtle to like defeat the illusion, you know, or like to make the illusion that it's not perfectly mirrored. So I need to work on that. Thank you, Choreo. Cool thing about working on any kind of ancient croc is that we still have them around today, so I feel like it's a little bit easier to do them because we actually have some sort of direct or like more direct analog to them. But like crocodile arms and legs are really fun to sculpt. So are like dinosaur like or like cassowary. Cassowaries are really fun to sculpt just in general. They have really cool heads, the crests, cool colors. They have really cool claws on their legs, on their feet. I think when the game does launch, you know, whenever that is, I think Puru might be one of my first ones to play. I think it would be fun to like surprise people out of the water. That, or maybe I do like the idea of playing as some sort of pack predator. That's always been one of those like, I guess it's one thing that I've always wanted out of a dinosaur game is like a cool like pack hunting experience. So that would also be fun. Okay, let's I'm gonna save this and let's do a quick export. This will just be like a test, not like anything super official. So get an export and then we'll open up the file in Blender and plug that texture in and see how it looks. Set this up really quick. Nice teeth. Yeah. Output template. I made a special output template just for Echoes of Extinction models. So I'm pretty happy with the way that turned out, and I think it'll save me some time. I don't need the RGBP. Ooh. No. Figure out where I'm gonna export it. It's just gonna be a test texture, so don't need to like texture exports. Go, these are test texture. I want that folder. Select, and then we will, I need to make sure it's the right resolution. There we go. Export. What crocodilian would be the best kisser? That would be cool. Like if you could, like if every bite you took on the opponent would leave like a mark, like a gash on it. I don't know the technicalities of how that would work though. That would be super cool. I mean, I think Purussaurus is the only croc that we have in the game, so my answer would be Puru. But you never know what could be added. Game ready. I need textures, texture exports. Oh, give me 1 second. Where am I setting all this up? There it is. I have to get myself organized out here. Because I'm starting to have like multiple files that kind of have very similar names, and it's starting to get confusing. And that's where problems can happen, because you can accidentally pick the wrong file and then like export it, and then a lot of people will be mad at you. Okay, so there's our Puru. Does he have the roughness texture on yet? So our skin, he does have roughness, I believe. Okay. So we need image texture. We need to open the test textures. Hopefully it doesn't give me any problems. Of course. Why is that messed up? Oh, I need to tell it what UV set to use. Give me 1 second. That's why. E1. There we go. Oh, I forgot to export the... He doesn't have all his colors on. That needs to be on. So I need to export it again. Okay, export that again. Okay. So we go back to Blender. We reload the texture. There we go. So he's got, it's darker now. I need the teeth. The teeth are just placeholders right now. So they might look a little funky. Is that we're working right? Maybe? I don't know. Something's going on with the teeth. We'll figure it out soon. This was just black because I don't have a texture on the eyes yet. Then we had the tribal mesh in here too. Body. What is the color that we have on the head? Turn off. Not the tribal himself. We just want to turn off the armature. I wonder what's happening with the teeth. Why does not have UVs? Did I have a different set of teeth with UVs? I bet you I did. I bet you they're down here. Yeah. So these teeth need to be attached to the armature. Because yeah, these guys have the texture on it. So that's why it's not working. That's okay for now. Welcome back, Kivarstra. Okay, cool. What are we playing around with? This is an Eevee. I'm a little hesitant to push. Can play around with some lighting in here, I suppose. Let's take off this sun. Or actually, it's not even rendered. So this is the render. I'm not sure how Eevee behaves with... Last time I used an HDRI with Eevee, it, I don't know. It looks alright. Let me try this. Maybe something more neutral. Something... Studio light, maybe? This? Whoa, that's really bright. That's okay. I'm trying to get something that gives me some decent light, but that doesn't screw with the color perception too much. Like you can see, like this is sort of green. I don't like that. That's decent. He's in like someplace in the desert somewhere, but that's decent. I'm just going to try and make him look cool for a little second here while we're wrapping up the stream. Do you guys have any like last minute questions or anything that you want to ask as we get close to done here for today? I wonder if they're... So we're still good to go on Wednesday for another stream with the splash art stuff. We'll be working on that. And then next Saturday, we'll be working on Puru again. I don't anticipate there being any changes to the schedule. Let's change his pose a little bit because he looks a little bit unnatural. The way he's like, the way his legs are tucked up under him. These are just automatic weights too, so it's not the best. I haven't adjusted the weights at all. Thanks, Scorio. Thank you, thank you. I was trying to get a cool, I don't know if I like the addition of the I don't know if I like HDRIs in EV. I'm just gonna go with this really quick. We're gonna do some really quick lighting. I was trying to get a cool thumbnail for Islander to use. So we'll try to do that really quick. Do a quick lighting setup. I also need to find a good camera angle. So let's see. Kind of hard because he's like all curled up. Let's turn up the values of this light. There we go. Would you be able to show it animate anyway? No, unfortunately, I don't have the. That's the limitations of my abilities right now. I don't know how to animate anything. So we'd have to wait till the actual animators get a chance to work with the model. I don't have any animation. I wouldn't even know how to like get it to start working, you know. I'm just a modeler guy. The other thing is, I usually work in cycles, so EV is a little bit strange to me. I need to look up some settings and things to make sure I know. So I want it to be more contrasty for sure. I have to play around with it. Some sort of, I don't know, we'll pan around and see if we can find any other cool angles. I think this is probably the only angle that works on this. Something like this. But the problem is I can't see his eyes too well. Maybe I can rotate his head just a little bit. Give him like a little bit of a side tilt. Like this. So it's not perfectly like straight on. I need to add, so one thing that I'm observing right now, I need to add some like tones to his mouth because it feels too flat. Like some like pinks, maybe a little bit of blues, just to get the idea that there's like blood flowing, you know, in his mouth. Because it just feels a little too flat. So we'll probably get that going too soon. Thank you, Miss Kezark. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm one of those people that like, I don't know. I can be pretty, I guess, hard on myself. Or like, I don't like, I don't toot my own horn. Is the thing. Sometimes to like a detriment. Because it's okay to be proud of your own stuff. You know, the stuff you do, the stuff you know. Tiffany, I'm not sure what you mean. You want it to be bigger than this? Like scale, or what are you talking about? I'd have to ask Furious what the actual scale of it is. Like in game. I'm only scaling it to whatever I could find on the internet. Actually, oh no, I don't want to zoom out. I think that's a cool pose now that I can see the eyes a little bit more. So I don't want to change the pose anymore. I'm going to take that ability to move that around off. I want to create a quick little set for him. It'll be really fast. Like this. I'm going to save this just really quick. Okay. It's gonna be like a quick like photo studio sort of backdrop thing. Is that far enough away? I think so. Let's raise it up so he's in this little box or this little circle. And we can add a subdiv on this. Subdivision. A couple. And then we'll add the... Where was that? There's the ground plane texture. There we go. That looks much nicer. He's not actually set down on the floor though. It's a little bit lower. So I need to make sure that he feels like he's actually on the ground, but that's better than the square that we were dealing with before. Something like that. Let's turn off all this stuff so we can see. So that's the beginnings of a cool render. That I can send off to Islander and he can use it in thumbnails and stuff. I wish, let me see. I want to kind of see how it looks in cycles though. Smog. 10.5 meters. Yeah, it's around there, Furious. I think it might just be 12 meters what I have it scaled to now, so it could be a little bit bigger, but it's around that size. Thank you, Kivarsha. I appreciate it. Cool. Thanks, everyone. I'm trying to think of what I need to do really quick. Oh, I was gonna look. I'm saving because I am afraid of cycles sometimes. Sometimes it gets mad when you switch and then it crashes, but this is fine. That looks cool. I like the lighting. I do want more depth in the mouth because it looks too flat. I wish that was there. But it's starting to look really cool. I need to fix this area. And the teeth, of course. Okay, cool. Thanks everyone for being here with me today. As I said, Wednesday's looking good for the splash art Spinosaurus stream. That should be good. And then next Saturday we'll work on more Purussaurus stuff. I'm trying to think if I have any other announcements. No. I think that's it. I hope everyone has a good weekend. And I'll see you on Wednesday. Okay? Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.